Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Summer. I do loc and lifestyle content. If you're interested, please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the dangers of interlocking. If you're an oldie, you already know I'm all about that interlocking life. But there are some dangers that you need to be aware of if you're considering interlocking. And I'm just here to put you on. So if you know anything about interlocking, you know that there is a directional pattern that you do follow when completing a rotation. Now there's a 4-point rotation, a 3-point rotation, and a 2-point rotation. I personally do a 2-point rotation because I believe that it allows the hair to kind of expand a little more. A 4-point rotation leaves more of a compressed lock. Now, I don't want to say that's a hard and fast rule because it really does depend on your hair texture and hair type. Some people do a 4-point rotation and you can't really tell the difference between their 4-point rotation or their 2-point rotation. But for me personally, I've noticed that when I do a 4-point rotation or anything more than 2, clearly 3 or 4, that the lock is definitely more compact. It's just more tighter. With a 2-point rotation, I believe that my locks just have more fullness to them, more volume, more body, and therefore my personal preference is doing a 2-point rotation. So the danger is when you choose a rotation that doesn't suit your hair type or your hair texture adequately. Rule of thumb is to start with a lower rotation and then see how your hair fares, because I've also seen people say that sometimes a 2-point rotation actually leaves their hair too loose. So it does really depend on personal preference what rotation you decide to go. But if you're on the fence about interlocking, I would definitely do a 2-point rotation to be on the safer side of things. If you don't want a big and obvious difference between maybe a retwisted lock versus an interlocked portion of your locks, then you might want to go with a 2-point rotation. Also, interlocking too frequently is a thing. And I think this goes even for retwisting. If you do any kind of maintenance routine with your hair too frequently, you can run the risk of damaging your locks and damaging your hair. So there's another lady on here, if I remember her name, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but her rule of thumb, and if I do remember her, I'll put her information somewhere in the video or down below. I actually learned how to interlock watching her videos, so check her out.
I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name.
She recommends at least being able to put 2 fingers through your new growth before you interlock.
Okay, never to go by the calendar because every month your hair might grow differently, right? So always use the 2-finger rule. So stick your finger in, and if you can fit 2 fingers in, then it's time for you to interlock your hair.
At that point, you know that your hair has grown out enough, that you're not interlocking too closely together. Now, if you have traditional locks, I really think that you should go by that rule. Of course, micro locks, sister locks, they tend to interlock more frequently because their hair has such a tendency to merge together at the root, which is completely understandable. But for traditional locks, I really recommend that 2-finger rule.
Personally,
I interlock 4 times a year. I'm considering stretching that out even a little bit more, not necessarily because I've noticed any damage or any issue, but I just like thicker roots. So just a personal preference. If you interlock and you notice that there is a little bit more space between your last rotation and your scalp, girl, leave that little space there. Don't try to force that lock through that little hole, because that will definitely cause you damage and breakage. And I also want to hopefully be able to put in some footage for you guys. I have locks that are very thick at the ends, and I realize that most of them are thick at the ends because I did start off with two-strand twists. And for whatever reason, many of them haven't dropped yet, so they're still a little bulky and bulgy at the ends. And I've noticed that many times I cannot pass the bottom of my hair through my roots. And when that's the case, I leave it alone. I don't try to force it. Well, in my past life, I did try to force it because I didn't realize that it could really cause damage. But now that I know, if my bulge is really big and then I notice that there's just a little bit of space left at the root, I don't bother. It's not worth that extra rotation. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the damage. Another danger is basically just not paying attention while you're interlocking. I don't think I've seen people do it. I don't know if I've gotten to the point where I feel comfortable enough to
watch a movie, cook a meal, walk the dog
while interlocking. And I know people do it, and I think it's because they've probably been doing it for years and years and years, or they've gotten enough practice or skin in the game to do that. I'm not that one. I need to focus when I'm interlocking. I need to be all up in the mirror. Maybe music could be playing in the background, but I cannot even have something actively being played where I have to watch while interlocking. It requires a level of focus that is very intentional. Because with interlocking, you cannot go through the same hole twice. And if you do, that's how you cause holes in your locks.
Holes are not the end of the world. They can be repaired.
However, it can negatively affect your locking process. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention while you're interlocking. Make sure that you're interlocking on moisturized hair. If your hair is, now I know that there's a debate, I'm not gonna lie. There's a debate between moisturizing on wet, damp, or completely dry hair. I know that this might not be the popular opinion, but I honestly interlock on dry hair. That's my personal preference. My hair might be dry in terms of wet versus dry, but it's not dry in terms of unmoisturized, if that makes sense. Moisturize my hair, seal in the moisture with an oil before I go in and interlock. There's a science behind why I interlock dry, and I don't know if I can unpack that in words, but basically when your hair is wet, it's heavier and it hasn't completely shrunken. Anyway, I'm not gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. Basically, if your hair is pitch dry, you should not be interlocking your hair. It will cause breakage. It will cause damage. You just don't want to do it. So I recommend interlocking when your hair is damp or moisturized and sealed with an oil. If you're not sure, definitely seek the help of a professional. That's it. That's all I got. I do have some other interlocking videos. I'll link them in the cards or down below. Definitely check them out. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.